Flint West Monologue, The End of the Dollar's Long Con. Folks, let's talk about the big con. 80 years ago, in a little hotel in New Hampshire, the world signed a deal that gave one country, America, and one currency, the US dollar, the right to sit in the captain's chair of global finance. Charles de Gaulle called it an exorbitant privilege. I call it the Triffin trade. The world needs dollars, so the US prints them, runs deficits, and lives on cheap credit while exporting the instability to everyone else. It worked until it didn't. Step into the trap. Most of the world's trade runs on dollar tracks. Oil, priced in dollars. Copper, dollars. Gold, even the shiny stuff bows to the greenback. And more than half of all cross-border debt, dollar-denominated. That standardization makes contracts smooth and spreads low, but it's a poison pill for anyone earning in pesos, rupees, or rand. When the dollar strengthens, their debt service costs shoot up right when they can least afford it. That's not a bug. That's the design. The illusion of stability. We look at the DXY, this neat little basket of G10 currencies, and pat ourselves on the back. See, the dollar's stable. Meanwhile, emerging markets are watching the trade-weighted dollar index and the USD funding spreads light up like a Christmas tree. That's the real stress signal, the one that forces LNG contracts to be rewritten, metal shipments to stall, and premiums to fatten on every long-term deal. Then there's the Treasury connection. The dollar's power isn't just about trade, it's welded to the US Treasury market, the biggest, deepest pool of so-called risk-free collateral on Earth. For decades, foreign central banks lined up to buy it, keeping yields low. But now, those foreign bids are thinning out. Maybe it's QT. Maybe it's inflation expectations. Maybe it's auction fatigue. Whatever the cause, the term premium is climbing, and that changes the price of credit for the whole planet. Inflation's stealth tax. Forget slogans like currency debasement. This is about sustained negative real rates, a quiet transfer of wealth from savers to borrowers, from wage earners to balance sheets stuffed with debt. If you earn in dollars, your paycheck buys less. If you earn in anything else, you import US inflation in every barrel of oil and every ton of grain. The USD gravity well. Breaking free isn't free. You pay in higher transaction costs, less liquidity, and fresh FX risk between local currencies. But it's a one-time burn for long-term resilience. The exit ramp is in 3 lanes. Diversify your invoicing, set up local currency swap lines, and peg long-term trade to a gold or commodity index so it doesn't swing on every whim of the Fed. And let's not forget the plumbing. Everyone points at SWIFT like it's the Death Star, but SWIFT is just the messaging system. The real choke point is correspondent banking and the settlement rails. CHIPS, Fedwire, running under US jurisdiction. You can build an alternative, but it's slow, political, and expensive. Payment infrastructure and unit of account are Siamese twins. You can't separate one without replacing the other. The pension fund problem. Here's the quiet truth. Global pensions and sovereign wealth funds need long-duration, liquid, repo-eligible assets to match their liabilities. Treasuries tick every box. Replacing them means building a stack. Gold-linked notes for stability, supranational bonds for credit quality, hard assets for inflation hedging, and tokenized, over-collateralized structures with transparent rules for liquidity. Bretton Woods, the patch that became the platform. Post-World War II, Bretton Woods stabilized trade and tied currencies to gold via the dollar. But when Nixon shut the gold window in '71, the anchor was cut loose, and the whole system kept running like nothing happened. That patch became the platform we're all still stuck on. Now the end game. We're watching the slow death of the dollar's monopoly, shrinking reserve share, higher term premiums, fading foreign bids at auctions, and more trade settled outside the greenback. Going back to a rigid gold standard would be a straitjacket, but staying on an unanchored dollar is a hostage situation. The future is a rules-based hard anchor, a gold or commodity basket for settlement, with programmable elasticity for emergencies, pre-funded and run under transparent rules. The choice is simple. Keep playing hostage to one balance sheet, or build a multipolar monetary core where trust is baked into the system instead of borrowed from Washington. Because this isn't just the end of the dollar's era, it's the end of the long con. We've been passengers on a train that's been running the same track since 1944, and the bridge up ahead, it's gone. The dollar had its run, and it ran hard, but now the bills come due, and the rest of the world is tired of paying it in silence. You can smell it in the bond auctions. You can hear it in the chatter between central banks. And you can feel it in every grocery aisle, from Kansas to Kuala Lumpur. The end of the dollar's reign isn't a headline. It's a process, and it's already in motion. The only question left is whether we build the next system with rules, anchors, and balance, or keep pretending that one country's balance sheet is the only pillar holding up the world. This is Flint West, and out here on the macro frontier, I don't sell hopium. I just tell you which way the wind's blowing. And it's changing fast.